Hi and welcome to Take Time to Create. My name is Linda and today we have another Halloween craft because Halloween is quickly approaching. And so today I picked up this little frame and this creepy baby hand from Who Gives a Scrap. So we're going to decorate a canvas, we're going to attach them on here, and we're going to have a great time with this. Now, I'm not the first one to do a frame and a hand through it, so this is a standard thing, but we are going to do baby hand coming through there just like that. So let's start, but the first thing I want to do is paint the frame. I don't think I want it this light color. I am going to leave the baby hand the way it is, but I think I'm going to put lace or something around this. I don't know anything about doll parts. A little on the creepy side, but we're going to just leave it as is. I'm gonna move that. I'm switching them out. Okay, so I'm just using the innards from a pattern just as my sheet here so I can get paint on it, so it's fine by me. I'm just going to paint it with Mars Black. This is Liquitex Basics Mars Black. Any black acrylic paint will do, and that made a lovely sound as I squirted it out. We always love that. Black gesso would work as well. I think this is already prepped and primed, and so I'm just going to paint all the nooks and crannies. If I have to give it 2 coats of paint, I will. That's it. That's what we're doing right now. Not super complicated. So yeah, let me paint this. It's got a lot of really cool detail with it, and I'm pretty excited. I don't know how much I got it for. It was not very expensive, but this is the time of year you can find really cool frames. There are some Christmas frames out there I saw at Hobby Lobby too. If it's got a lot of glitter on it and it's the wrong color, don't be afraid to paint it. So grab it, paint it, and then you can use it. So don't be afraid of that. Anyway, that's that. And let me finish this. Then we'll go on to the next steps. We'll want to dry it as well before we can go on to the next step. So let me finish this and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back and I put 2 coats of black paint on there just because it needed it. So now I'm going to highlight all the really cool ridgy parts on it, and I'm going to use Finnabar's Art Alchemy Metallic Wax, and this is the color Aged Brass. And it's a really pretty color. And so I took a class from Finnabar, and what she did is she took the wax and she just warmed it up on her hand, and this came straight from the artist. So that's what she did. And so I find because there's beeswax in it, it warms it up, and I am just highlighting just the very tippy tip tops of things, just getting some really cool aged in here. This is going to be a little on the spooky side, just like this. A little bit goes a long way. I know these are a little bit on the pricier side of art supplies, but I will say her stuff goes a long way, and it's just so good and so shiny. I haven't played with my waxes for a while. I mean to pull them out, and then I forget, and I don't, and so I am trying to remember, so I'm excited. I think it'll work perfect for this little project here. We're gonna, there we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just highlighting things. It's not perfect. It's supposed to be a little on the aged side. Just like that. Let me lift it up so you can really see it. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Okay, so this needs to dry, and then we're going to work on the canvas itself. As this dries, I'm just getting just a tiny bit more here and there. Yeah, so let's work on the canvas. All right, so now we need to work on the canvas, and I have this Tim Holtz pack, and it's fallen apart, but I got it, I think, last year on clearance from Michael's at the end of the Halloween season. Paper Stash, Tim Holtz, it just says Halloween on it. So these are 8 by 8, and they're a little short for this canvas. So I want it to look like wallpaper so that this looks like it's on the wall. So I'm not sure. I really like the striped one because it's a little short for what I need. I wanted a repeating pattern so it makes it easy to line up. I've been harvesting out of. I thought the skulls looked good, but I'm not 100% sold on them. I just don't think they'll look quite right. Still a little wet, so I don't want to I don't want to put it on there. So we've got some border around there, so the skulls are kind of cool. Oh yeah, I might do that. They look really good. I want to find one that I have 2 of remaining because, like I said, I've been using it and I don't always have 2 of something remaining to work as wallpaper. So, and I got to be careful that there's not like a really thick border around because I'm just gonna have to cut that border off. All right, the skulls it is. I really like them. Okay, so what we're gonna do, because I definitely need to marry up the 2 patterns, I am going to cut a little bit of it off. Okay. Okay, so I want to make sure that the 2 patterns go together. So I think I can do that. Oh, that looks really good. Okay, cool. All right. Now the problem is too, so we're gonna need to trim the sides. So this is 7 by 9, and so what we're gonna need to do is cut these canvas. Since these are 8 by 8, I need to cut a 1/2 inch off of each side because I want it to match. And I save these little scraps, especially while I'm working on the project. I don't know if I'm gonna need them or not, and then I'm not gonna worry about trimming the top and bottom right now because I might have to change things. I don't exactly know where it's going to end. So I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife at the very end and trim up the canvas that way. Okay. All right, for this project, normally I use Mod Podge or gel medium to adhere things down because I really want it to stick and I'm not too worried about wrinkles, but since I want this to look like wallpaper, I don't want it to have wrinkles on it. So I am going to actually adhere it down with double sticky tape. And that, like I said, that's just because I just don't want it to look like it's coming up or whatever. So, you know, I just don't want it to look like there's wrinkles on it. I mean, I understand it's old and there might be, you know, the wallpaper coming off since it's old, but I don't think so. So I'm going to trim off a little bit on this side because this one I'm not sure if I want it to go top or bottom. I think I'm going to have it repeat on the bottom because you're less likely to look at it that way. I think where your eye is going to follow it. So what I'm going to do is put some double sticky tape and I'm just going to kind of coat it all over this. Like I said, I don't want any wrinkles, so that's what I'm going to do on this project. Are there other ways to do this? You bet. But this will work for me. And I'm adhering it directly on the canvas because I'm not sure what's going to hang over the edge. So I think this is just the best way to do it. All right, so we've got the first part done, and then what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this one. But I am actually going to put some on the paper here so that everything is well adhered and it looks really good. And we go all the way to the edges. Okay. This stuff is really sticky. I am not worried about this coming apart. It's very, very sticky. Okay, so now we're just gonna kind of hover it over and line it up as best we can. Now, is it gonna be 100% perfect? No. Oh no, see, super duper sticky. Okay, I'm gonna stick my head over the top. Sorry if my head gets in the way, but I wanna be right on top of it. All right, so this is all adhered down and it looks good. What I'm going to do is, so this is what it's going to look like with the frame. I wanna repeat some of that bronzed aged brass Finnabar wax. So I'm just going to put it all over the edge here and take some, warm it up on my hand again. And I'm just going to kind of put on the edge here, and I'm going to make sure it's on this side here. Just rather than taking black for this, I'm just taking this aged brass. I'm just swirling just a tiny, tiny bit along the edge, just to bring it together. Use those repeating colors. So if you've painted something with one color, you want to make sure you repeat that somewhere else. Now, I'm not using a ton of paint with this because, well, it's Halloween. We don't need a ton. Anyway, so, and then make sure you get your edges as well. And I'm just kind of dabbing it on that way, and then we'll be good with this. So let me finish this frame. It's going to take a couple minutes, and then we'll get the arm ready to adhere on. I think I'm going to put some lace on her sleeve so that it looks a little more spooky. I don't know, something about a baby hand coming out, because I've seen like witches' hands and other kinds of hands, but the baby arm, I don't know. But you know what? We're just going to roll with it. It's Halloween. It's a little spooky, but you do whatever you want coming out. So if you find something else at your thrift store, at your creative reuse center, that's what you use. A head would be really cool. Anything. You could frame a hat. You could frame, you know, whatever you want to do. However spooky you want to get with this. Completely up to you. So, all right, so while that's all drying, the frame is drying and finishing up, and the canvas is drying, we are going to work on the hand. So first, trim up any excess, if there's anything on the hand that needs to come off. Trim it up. And this hand is ceramic, so be very careful with it. You don't want to break it, and I'm just going to trim up everything along the edge. Now, if you don't have a creative reuse center, you know, you could take a doll and kind of butcher the poor doll. You could definitely do that. You could, you know, there's just so many ways that you could have, you know, hands on there. So I'm going to take some lace, and I'm just going to kind of give her a little lacy hand, because I kind of think that that's what she would be wearing, maybe. I have no idea. I'm just taking some hot glue, and I'm going to put 2 rows of lace on. And that's just because this lace isn't quite wide enough to cover it with one pass. So I'm just going to kind of lay her down, press it down with scissors because it is super hot. And hot glue this around. Now, I'm not going to adhere the hand or the frame with hot glue just because I think it's too heavy. I'm going to use gel medium for it. I think it'll just adhere better. And if it's not perfect for this, that's okay, because it's old. It's supposed to have a little bit of hiccups and bumps and not be perfect. Okay, so I did hot glue this ribbon back here. I think it'll be strong enough to hold it. It'll just hang like that. I thought the ribbon was pretty. It matches the ribbon because I finished the arm. I think it's pretty because it matches it. If it's not strong enough, I might just, you know, prop it up in one of those picture holders. I learned from my mistake. This is, it's got a white, you know, core in this paper, and you can kind of see. I should have taken a black ink pad and just swiped it on there so that it blended a little better, because you can kind of see that white line. I'm not going to worry about it, but if I were to do it again, I would pay attention to that. I covered up all the other edges with the gold or the brass wax, but I just missed that one. But that's okay. We're not going to worry about it. I'm not going to fuss too much. All right, so now it's time to kind of place things and see what we want to do. I have a couple choices. I can place this in the center and just leave it like that and then have this coming out, or I can place it, you know, maybe up a little bit and put something down here if I wanted to. You know, honestly, I don't have a lot of Halloween stuff. It's just not a holiday that I really craft a lot to. So I think I'm not going to do that. I might add some stickers around. So I think I'm going to center this up more, just because I really want this hand to be the center of attention, because it's coming out of the wall. It's a little disturbing. It's a little dirty. My hands have been dirty. So let me grab a baby wipe. So learn from my lesson here. Make sure you have clean hands when you touch your doll hands, but if it's a little dirty, that's okay too. That kind of adds to this whole spooky vibe. Dirty hand coming out of the wall in the frame. Okay. Liquitex Heavy Gloss Gel, which should work just fine as adhesive. It does dry transparent. So we're just gonna stick some on there. We don't need it so gloppy that it oozes out, but you do definitely want enough to adhere it down. Now, we also, modeling paste will dry opaque, and so that's why I'm using this heavy gel, and I use this all the time. You guys know this. I use it in my fabric canvases. I use it for almost everything. I sure do love it. So let me lean over it and put it in the center. Okay, so here we go. A little bit of wiggle room with this. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna take the same gel medium, and I'm gonna kind of try not to get the lace involved, but we'll see, hopefully not. Now, like I said earlier, I know I'm not the first one to have a hand coming out of a frame. It's kind of a standard thing, so I know. It's not the first or the last, but it is a fun one for all of those that have come before. I do enjoy seeing those, and I like my own spin on it. So there we go with that. Okay, so I'm gonna put the thumb at the top. I'm gonna kind of tip to the side. Okay, just like that. Now I gotta clean up the edges. I know it will dry transparent, but I want to just not have as much. Less on there to have. You know how it goes. So I'm just gonna kind of clean up my edges, scoop it off. All right, this is done. Okay, now it's super wet, so I cannot hold it straight up so you can see it that way, but you get the idea, and I love it. So very, very cute. So I have to let it dry for 24 hours. I know I could heat set it, but I'm just gonna leave it, yeah, disturbing, adorable. I love it. All of the above. Less is more with this. I thought about adding, some other stuff, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to let the hand speak for itself. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you know when I post new videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.